180 years ago, in this stately home behind me, one of the greatest English traditions, afternoon tea, was born. But who was its creator and where are we? Find out in just a moment.
On today's show, we're helping a married couple who are hoping to quit suburbia to buy their first home together in the country. And hold on, because it's going to be a rough ride.
Does this make you feel a little bit seasick as you're walking around? I find, ooh.
Though we do find our feet on solid and rather splendid ground.
I'm not a gardener and I can see the potential.
But will the numbers stack up?
I come up with a formula. I'm going to think of a price, take off 200 and add 25.
Today we're in Bedfordshire and I'm here in the reputed birthplace of afternoon tea, the Blue Drawing Room at Woburn Abbey. It was here in the 1840s that the lady of the house, Anna Maria, Duchess of Bedford, complained to her butler about the terrible sinking feeling that she had in her stomach, i.e. she was starving hungry around 4 o'clock. So she instigated a ceremony of light refreshments along with the tea. And being lady-in-waiting to Queen Victoria, the ceremony really caught on. And I'll be learning the etiquette of taking tea later in the show. But first, let's have a look at some of the tasty delights this county has on offer.
Neighboured by 4 other counties, Bedfordshire is the gateway to the Midlands and East Anglia, and also lies within easy reach of London. But despite its proximity to major rail, road and runway links, it boasts many areas of outstanding countryside, dotted with picturesque towns and villages. The Chiltern Hills dominate the county's southern edge, within which are the Dunstable Downs. This chalk wind-swept escarpment is the highest point in East England, looking out over woods, grassland and arable fields. One of Bedfordshire's principal rivers is the Great Ouse, that makes its way across the county, idling past many historic market towns that have flourished on its banks. Crossing over this river on the arched bridge is probably the best introduction to the county town of Bedford. And it was here in the 17th century Christian preacher and writer John Bunyan began writing his most celebrated work, The Pilgrim's Progress, whilst incarcerated in Bedford jail. There's an array of quieter corners here, such as the pretty village of Sutton, with its 13th century pack horse bridge and picture postcard properties. All in all, it's clear to see why Bedfordshire is a rather appealing slice of the country in which to set up home.
With beautiful countryside like this and very good transport links into London, as you might expect, property prices in Bedfordshire are pretty pricey. The average for a detached house is £298,000, which is £40,000 above the national average. And then if you want to be on a direct train link, so stations like Harlington, then you're going to pay 10% above the odds. Further north and east in the county, though, in little villages up there, then you're going to get a lot more bricks for your money. And those bricks are beautifully laid out in a wide variety of architectural styles. Let's take a look.
Sandstone from Bedfordshire's Green Sand Ridge has been quarried for hundreds of years and used to build many homes across the county. There's also a mix of other traditional building materials, including thatch and limestone from the northern Ouse Valley. The unspoilt village of Pavenham has an abundance of stone-built cottages, such as this 2-bedroom terrace, that comes with an asking price of £242,000. And in the same pleasant village, this charming 18th century 3-bedroom limestone cottage is ripe for the picking, for offers in excess of £300,000.
A beautiful selection of architectural styles there, but will any of them be suitable for our couple today? Let's meet them.
Carolyn runs her own events company and her husband Carl is Chief Operating Officer for a dental supplies company. They tied the knot in Sri Lanka 2 years ago after crossing paths in cyberspace.
Well, we actually met on the internet. The face-to-face meeting was here and we met up again a few weeks later, met up in India and then been together ever since, really.
They're currently living in a 4-bedroom chalet bungalow on a main road in a busy suburban Middlesex town.
Well, I've been living in this house in Northwood for nearly 27 years now. My daughter, who's going to be 15 this year, was born here. Over the years, we've extended it upstairs, downstairs, sideways, and there's really nothing else we can add to it now.
As well as Carl, Carolyn and her daughter Tamsin, the new property must potentially cater for Carolyn's mother as well.
My mum's on her own, and although she likes living where she is and all her friends are there, it would be nice to have somewhere that she could come and live with us eventually if she felt that was something that she wanted to do.
And all parties involved in the move have very particular needs when it comes to the location.
Well, I have to be within a reasonable commute of Kings Langley because my daughter goes to school there and I don't really want to change her school. And my mother is in Pinner, so...
And I need to get to sort of St Albans area.
We'd like to live somewhere close to a village because it would be really nice to get involved in the local community.
So strong community ties are a must, and it seems Carl and Carolyn are willing to do whatever it takes to create their dream property.
We both like doing DIY type stuff. Carolyn's quite handy. She's got a full set of tools in the workshop.
A bit of a project would be great.
There are, however, a few fundamental elements that can't be shaped with a toolkit.
It would be really nice to wake up and look out over woodland or fields or something like that.
Enough rooms that we can have our separate offices.
Not beamy, not too low ceilings.
No. Something with a bit of character, a bit quirky even.
I trained as a garden designer, so I'd love to have a big space to get my hands on and divide up and make it look interesting.
With grand ambitions for the garden, it's clear that Carolyn has a real horticultural vision. But it seems Carl may need a little more convincing.
Carl's a bit more fussy than I am.
Clearing up after yourself would be useful.
I do.
We just like somewhere that's our house, so something that we bought together.
Yeah.
And we can decorate and refurbish and just make our
together
own, really.
make it ours.
Good transport links are essential for our buyers, who are looking for a maximum commute of 1 hour across the county border to Hertfordshire for work and also the school run. So our search will take us to some wonderful rural villages surrounding Bedford, but which are still well connected to the M1. Time for us all to meet up in the lovely countryside to finalise the details of their move.
Welcome to Bedfordshire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful day.
I know.
It is glorious.
The
sunny
sun
day.
shines on your property search. Now, Bedfordshire's not an area that you've actually looked at so much.
We've been looking more the other side of the M1, so it'll be quite interesting for us.
A ballpark figure of how many you've seen?
Probably around about 50, I would say.
50 you've actually visited.
Quite a fair few, yeah.
So what are you looking for? What's the spec? How many bedrooms?
A minimum of 4. 5 would be perfect. We need a kitchen breakfast room.
Large kitchen, breakfast room, a couple of studies.
Because you work from home, or you'd like to work more from home?
Well, I work from home.
Yeah,
don't
Carolyn works from home, and I tend to bring work home. So I like to have my own space for work as well.
Quite.
I think he just likes to get away from me, actually, sometimes. Have his own peace and
The
quiet.
secret of a good relationship.
A good shed'd do, I think, actually.
And in terms of doing work to the property, because I know that you're both very keen, you've done a lot of work to the bungalow.
Yeah, we don't mind knocking a place about a bit and doing a fairly major renovation.
As long as we could live in it while we're doing it.
And your budget? How much are we going up to?
Well, if it's a big project, around about the 800s, we could push up to $1 million for something
If
perfect.
it's something really fantastic.
I mean, it is expensive, obviously, being so close to London.
Yeah.
But we have 3 beautiful properties lined up.
Great.
And we're excited to show them to you, hoping that you've not seen them online.
I don't think we will.
Flesh. So let's go. Come with me.
Excellent, thanks.
Carolyn and Carl have a starting budget of £800,000 to spend on a character home with project potential, although they could go higher if a house was absolutely perfect. They'd like at least 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen breakfast room, as well as 2 studies so they can have an office apiece, and a decent plot of land to design and develop the garden. They'd also like an annex for Carolyn's mother. Finally, the property needs to be well connected so Carl can commute to work and Carolyn can easily take her daughter to school. We'll be serving up 3 superb properties, all with different opportunities, but I won't be revealing the prices until the end of each tour. And our special offer is, of course, the Mystery House. And it's safe to say our buyers could get much more than they bargained for. For our first stop, we're heading to the village of Harold, which is just about an hour's drive from Carolyn's daughter's school and Carl's office in Hertfordshire. Harold typifies an idyllic English setting and wraps itself around a pretty green complete with an octagonal butter market and an old circular lockup that was last used to detain drunks and suspected criminals in the 19th century. And we're stopping off in this rather arresting village to have a look around.
So I think this is really one of the hidden jewels of Bedfordshire, Harold. Gorgeous village, this beautiful village green. Do you know this area? Have you been here before?
No, not at all.
Not at all, no. It's a beautiful village.
It's a charming village,
It
isn't it?
is. It's like going back in time, really.
Is it what you were thinking in terms of a
Yes,
home?
I mean, if it's got a nice community, if there's like a community hall or a way we could...
Yeah, there's a good hall.
Get
They
involved.
do amateur dramatics. Do you do that?
Oh, great, yeah, I used to be a bit of a thespian, actually, yeah.
You see, it's got 2 pubs, supermarket, butchers, lots going on in terms
Oh,
of
perfect,
amenities.
yeah, everything you need on the doorstep.
And possibly your new home.
Oh.
Just a short stroll away in the heart of the village is our first house, which is an outstanding Grade 2 listed former manor house.
Property number 1.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It dates back to the Elizabethan period. It was a gift of Elizabeth I to a wealthy London grocer. What are your first impressions, Carl?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Nice property. Very handsome looking.
Yeah.
Exactly the sort of thing that we're looking for. Full of character.
It's a handsome property, and you get this thrown in as well. So
Oh,
this
wow.
is yours
That
as
comes
well.
with it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
The old
it's
coach house.
Another separate house.
Well, indeed it is. And you can guess what I might suggest that's going to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to look inside?
Yep,
Yeah.
certainly.
A very positive first impression, and that's no surprise. This 3-storey Elizabethan home certainly delivers on the character our buyers were after. And it boasts terrific period features throughout.
Step on in through the hallway into the main sitting room.
Wow. I like the window seat as well.
seat,
That's really
and,
nice.
So is this sort of property you could imagine living in? And it's difficult, we've only seen one room, but could you imagine sprawling out in this room?
No.
I mean, this is a lovely cosy room. I can imagine a great big roaring fire in the middle of winter in that amazing fireplace.
Let's take a look in the dining room, the
Okay.
kitchen. So another very
Oh.
impressive room.
Wow. This is
Oh, wow.
incredible.
This screen here that separates the dining room from the kitchen.
Oh, I like that. That's interesting as well. That little featured doorway and the staircase too. It's all wibbly wobbly.
Yeah. It's quite a lot of wibbly wobbly upstairs. as well.
Oh dear, Carl won't like that.
Let's have a peek in the kitchen.
Okay.
Here we are. This is the kitchen.
A
Compact.
bit small.
It's a bit disappointing.
But the
Yeah.
proportions are historically compact because you can't move this wooden
No.
screen.
It's got a range cooker though. I'm not sure about a range cooker. I've never ever used one of those. I know everyone that has one swears by them, but I wouldn't know where to start, to be honest.
Sure, you soon learn.
You'd soon.
Well, I'd have to be doing all the cooking.
Good. Okay,
Okay.
well, that's downstairs. Let's have a peek upstairs.
It was all going so well, but it seems we've hit a stumbling block with the proportions of the kitchen. Though there is a separate utility cum shower room where you could hide away the white goods. And there's also a large conservatory just off the lounge, offering additional dining space that opens out onto a paved patio. But I've a feeling that Carl and Carolyn won't find the space lacking when it comes to the bedrooms on offer upstairs, which are spread out over 2 floors.
So you've got 4 bedrooms, and this is,
Wow.
as you can guess,
Very
the master.
grand. Gosh. Big full. That's a solid bed, isn't it? Wow.
This is sort of bed.
Lovely
Yeah.
carvings. Look at all
Yeah,
the
look
detail
at
work down
that.
here.
That's amazing, isn't it?
You have 2 big bedrooms on this floor, one of which could be a study. And then upstairs in the attic, you've got 2 more good-sized bedrooms.
Right.
They're also not squishy small, but they do have very bowed floors.
Right, right.
So if you like the flat floor,
Yeah. It does make you feel a little bit seasick as you're walking around. I find.
possibly.
Ooh.
There is only 1 bathroom, and there's not en suites in a building this
No.
age.
No. You were lucky if you had a bathroom. You wouldn't have
Right,
had
so just
bathrooms,
had
really, would
true.
they? Yeah.
It's actually a
Tub
lovely
in front
bathroom.
of the
There's
fire.
another nice big bathroom in the
Okay.
shower, so plenty of space.
Right.
Let's pop outside and let's talk price.
Okay.
Well, they do seem won over by the huge master bedroom, and outside there's also some excellent proportions in the outbuilding. The former coach house we saw earlier has been converted into a completely self-contained annex and has an upside-down layout, with open-plan kitchen and living areas on the first floor, the shower room, alongside 2 double bedrooms on the ground floor. So the coach house could be used as offices, or for Carolyn's mother in the future. It just remains to be seen if the private walled garden here will come up smelling of roses.
What about the garden? Because I know the garden's a big thing for you.
Yeah, a little bit on the small side for what I would like, ideally, really. I mean, it's a very pretty garden, and it frames the house nicely, but actually I'd be looking for something a little bit more substantial.
Okay, well, that's great. It's a good first house because there's lots of questions that are being
It's a beautiful house, yeah.
focusing our mind on what you're actually looking for. So what do you think a property like this is on the market for?
I would say about 860.
I would hazard a guess of around 925.
925. Okay, so this is on the market for a shade under 800.
Under 800? Wow.
So just a smidgen under £800,000 for a very substantial, characterful property
Yeah, that's surprising, actually.
Very surprising.
with a ready-made annex.
Yes,
So food for thought.
definitely food for thought.
Have a look in the annex. Actually, check out the annex first and then explore around the rest. There's quite a bit we haven't seen.
Okay.
And I'll meet you on the drive and then we can head on to the next property.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect.
On the market for just a shade under £800,000, this fine 16th century property is a great house to get our search underway. It's rich with character and original period features and comes with 2 reception rooms, 4 bedrooms and a self-contained annex, which has been converted from a former coach house.
If it was open plan downstairs and 2 rooms upstairs, I think it would work a bit better. Well, when we came through the garden and we first saw the house, I thought, wow, it's a really beautiful house, full of character. I was a little disappointed when we went into the kitchen. It's got a beautiful big window, but not really quite enough storage.
This house has a lot of period features. Most of them I do like, but there's a few things that I don't like. Whilst this would be a nice house to visit, I think I'd soon get tired of having to duck down every day of the week.
It's a beautifully secluded garden, even though it is right in the middle of the village of Harold, but I wonder whether it's actually too much in the middle of the village and the next property should be further afield, which it is. Hello.
Hi.
You all done?
Yes, thank you.
Very good. So closing the door on a very characterful property. Let's move on to something new.
Okay.
With Carolyn's vision to create her own dream country garden, a trip to Bedfordshire provides the ideal opportunity to visit the village of Stevington, where 4.5 acres of the manor house have been transformed into an atmospheric and artistic horticultural highlight. Developed by the owner, Cathy Brown, over the past 25 years, the gardens have been divided into 18 themed areas, each with a distinctive character. Open to the public, it's not only a dream for those with green fingers, but a tonic for those who wish to peruse the glorious surroundings. So earlier in the week, we sent both our buyers to get some inspiration. Influenced by trips abroad, there are formal box parterres in a French style, a colourful empty fish pond that's strongly Mediterranean, as well as the traditional English cottage garden. There's also a few art-inspired beds, in particular one themed on Claude Monet's famous water lily paintings.
So we've just come over to one of the art gardens that we have, which was based on a painting I saw in the National Gallery.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at it and was actually drawn in, and I thought, I can plant this up. And instead of water, the golden water, the reflection of the water, I saw grasses, because you know how they go golden in the autumn and through the winter. So I planted up an ornamental grass garden with these dots of colour for the water lilies. For me, it's hugely emotional. It's not about the individual plants, it's about the overall feeling of it.
Not only are the grounds evocative and entertaining, but medicinal and culinary too.
So we have an edible flower border here, which is unusual, isn't it? But in the 17th and 16th century, households were so used to using lavender and cowslips down here and roses in all sorts of different ways. I make rose petal cakes out of the roses. This is a David Austin rose.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's full of scent. Simply get the scissors and cut off the coloured parts and mix it with unsalted butter and icing sugar and put it in the middle of a Victoria sponge cake.
It's important to note that only certain flowers are edible, and it can be highly dangerous to eat flowers unless you're absolutely sure the variety is safe to consume. Always check with a reputable horticultural expert. Also, be aware that flowers treated with pesticides, fungicides or other chemicals are not safe to eat.
I don't know whether you'd like to try and eat something.
Yeah,
Taste
lovely.
it. Do you like aniseed?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Because we have sweet Sicily. Try this and see if you like it.
So you eat the whole thing?
Yes. I love to make roast peppers with these inside.
Oh, yeah.
The flowers are the same flavour, and you can put them on salads or omelettes. But people have forgotten how to use them.
Fueled with fresh ideas for her own garden, no doubt Carolyn's itching to get planting. And I'm hoping we may have found her an ideal option. So time to step away from the cake and get to the second property. Our next stop is in the village of Thurley, which is a 20-minute drive east of our first house, and so is just over our buyer's preferred 1-hour commute time. Thurley has a close-knit community and an inviting, part-thatched pub. And on the edge of the village, with a very impressive approach down a long driveway, we arrive at our second property.
A different offering.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you're out on the edge, you've got a lot more space to play
Yeah.
with here.
Right.
This sits on a 3-acre plot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That should
Big
keep you
enough garden
busy.
for you?
And this is the property, so it's a barn conversion.
Yeah.
Right.
Any strong feelings about barn conversions?
No, like the space.
No,
Usually have a good
yeah.
amount of space, yeah.
So it was done in the mid-90s, and then there's this annex, which was an old smithy and then an outbuilding, which was
Perfect.
converted and sort of made part of a parcel of land. Should we have a look inside?
Yeah,
of
lovely.
course.
It's a thumbs up for this beautiful, peaceful setting, so let's see if this barn conversion is a style that is suited to our buyer's taste.
Come on in. Straight into the hallway.
Oh, lovely. I love the floor, these lovely flagstones.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So yellow York stone throughout. What are your first impressions inside?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Big smells from
It looks
cars.
nice.
No, it's nice, bright, airy.
Well, this is a very impressive space. I really see the barn,
Oh, wow. Look at this.
barnness of the here.
Yeah. This is
Beautiful. I
lovely.
love the double height space, and that's
Height.
quite a chimney stack, that, isn't it?
Yes,
Chimney
it certainly
rest, I
is.
mean.
This is how a barn conversion should be, so you get the full height of the original structure.
Yeah.
You see the windows up there as well.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, they've done some really imaginative things because this herringbone twill,
Yes, that's really
that
nice.
wouldn't
Really
have
nice.
been in the original, but they've kind of used the bricks in that way. And if you look through here, it's nice because you can separate it off.
Oh, yeah.
You can either
that's
have it as
lovely.
one big room or sort of make this a separate dining room. And in the winter it'd be rather nice and snug.
Yeah, it's a lovely room, actually. It's a nice space. It's quite nice to have a slightly lower ceiling in here.
Makes it a bit more intimate.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
Let's go through downstairs. Ta-da! Slightly,
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit more like it.
This is a nice
That's what I call a kitchen.
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so this is a lovely space to hang out.
It's like an old-fashioned farmhouse kitchen.
Yeah,
It's
it
just,
is, yeah.
It's huge.
Very nice modern range.
Yes, that's more my style.
Yeah, your style.
Definitely more
But
my
also a
style.
log burner, so you can keep nice and warm in the winter.
Wow, yeah.
Come down with your coffee, read the
Yeah,
papers.
yeah, that's really nice.
And a huge utility room which links through seamlessly into the annex.
Oh, perfect.
So that, and the annex is all on one level.
Yeah.
So if your mum is going to move here, she can close the door,
Fantastic.
or she can potter in here and join
Oh,
in
that's
with it.
perfect. Yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent.
The 3 rooms in the annex sit in the far wing of the property, to one end of the kitchen breakfast room. It includes a large kitchen diner, cosy lounge, again with a log-burning stove, and a double bedroom. In the middle of the property sits a family room, which is right next to the smallest of 5 bedrooms that lie within the main bulk of the house. As this bedroom is on the ground floor, it could be ideal as one of their 2 requested studies. But there's also another large ground floor bedroom just across the hallway, which is already being used as an office. We'll leave Carl and Carolyn to battle out who gets the bigger of the 2. The remaining 3 bedrooms are all up on the first floor, alongside the family bathroom. They include a double, set in the eaves, and another roomy double with exposed timbers. That just leaves the room that could be theirs.
This is the master bedroom.
Oh.
Oh, right. Oh, that's something with the...
Oh, yes, that's the lounge, isn't it?
Yes,
Through
you
the
see,
glass.
that's the other
yeah.
side of the window.
Yeah.
Got an ensuite here. So,
No, it's fine.
Oh.
It's not reduced height at all, really. Not what I expected. No, they've done a really good job.
I think it's safe to say that Carl is getting on board with the idea of this generous barn conversion, and it's definitely got the upper hand when it comes to the land. I just hope that 3.5 acres is what Carolyn was looking for.
I need to get pole position so I can show you everything in one fell sweep. So you've got the back of the house here, and this is a sort of formal garden. Lovely sun-kissed sort of patio and this pergola that goes all the way around.
Yeah, I could definitely do something with this, I think. It's a wonderful space, and to have all the hedging round it, it's totally secluded, isn't it?
I'm not a gardener and I can see the potential.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think this parcel of property is worth?
I would say probably about 925.
It is, I think, worth more than the last house. I would say 950.
Well, actually, it's on the market for £740,000.
740?
I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that at all. That's incredible.
740.
So have a look round and I'll meet you at the front.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Thanks.
Explore away.
Well under budget at £740,000, our second property has yet again given our buyers something to think about. It comes with 3 reception rooms, a large kitchen diner, and 5 bedrooms, 2 of which are on the ground floor, so could present ideal offices. There's also a 1-bedroom annex linked to the main property, which is ideal for Carolyn's mother. And let's not forget all the land here, which covers a plot of over 3 acres.
It's another big room. This is just the annex. This is amazing.
Yeah, this works quite well as an
Yeah,
annex.
I think this annex is much more practical for us than the last one. I thought the house looked really nice from the outside. I had high expectations, and it didn't disappoint when I came inside either. The garden is amazing. It needs quite a lot of work. It's pretty much a blank canvas at the moment.
When we went into the living space and the ceiling just opened up, it was wow. And it was nice to see that they've kept the full height of the original structure. It's a bargain compared to stuff we've been looking at. We don't know if it's a bargain for the area, but I guess we'll find out within time.
I wonder whether that extra £200,000 in their pocket is burning a hole. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you have a good look round?
Yep, brilliant, yeah. Really
Liked what you found?
Yeah.
Yes, very
Really
nice.
nice.
Big
house.
smiles. We're very happy. So time to rest and regroup. Let's head
Okay.
off.
Okay.
As the sun sets on what's been a very enlightening time in Bedfordshire, the first day of our house hunt draws to a close. With a starting budget of £800,000, Middlesex-based couple Carl and Carolyn have set their sights on a Bedfordshire home with bags of room, both inside and out. So far they've seen 2 fantastic properties, the second of which really seemed to hit the mark. But it's not a done deal yet, for coming right up, we're going back to basics with the Mystery House.
There is something nice about being in a house that is 400 years old.
And I'll be minding my P's and Q's with an alternative vintage blend.
It's the second day of our property hunt here in Bedfordshire, and the sun's hiding behind the clouds, but I'm very pleased with the impact this county is having on Carolyn and Carl. They were completely floored by the prices yesterday, and that's very gratifying. So for the Mystery House, we're going to combine the period charm of the first property and the land of the second and see how that flies. Although Carl, he's going to have to mind his head. So slightly less nice weather on our second day.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think we're going to be showing you today in terms of the Mystery House?
I would say probably something a bit more ultra-modern, which has all the land we're looking for, all the space, And the compromise will be on the period property.
Well, Carl, you couldn't be more wrong, but we're not going forward in time, we're going back, way back. And the location of the mystery house is on the edge of an unspoilt riverside village called Felmersham. Essential amenities are just a couple of miles away in the neighbouring village of Sharnbrook, and they include a convenience store and a pub. The mystery property we're showing our buyers is a substantial thatched stone farmhouse, which dates right back to the 17th century.
So I brought you in the back of this property.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Nice. So you'll see that we have lots to talk about here.
Yeah. A swimming pool. Tamsin will be pleased.
Tamsin will be very pleased. And then a 400-year-old
Wow.
400-year-old.
Oh,
stone
I
built
can see. Oh, they're
thatched
beams
cottage.
going through Carl's head.
Yeah. The reason we brought you here is, well, there are many reasons we brought here. One of the reasons we brought here is because you talked about having a project or something where you could put your stamp on it. And this has this, but not here.
Okay.
The real twist with this house comes around the corner, and we're about to find out if our self-confessed DIYers can handle starting a project from scratch.
That is a project.
That is definitely a project.
It's a stone barn, and it's in the same pocket of land as the listed building. So this is a Grade 2 listed. But the great thing about this property is that this has planning already
Right. Okay.
approved to be converted into actually a separate property that you could sell separately, or you could have it as an annex.
This is a nice building.
It's an inspiring building. I mean,
It
if you're
is.
interested in those sort of things, I mean, it really has great
Yeah.
potential.
This old rustic stone barn comes with planning permission for conversion into a 2-bedroom dwelling with its own separate access, which could really give our buyers something to get their teeth into. The farmhouse itself is also ripe for some development, so let's have a look inside.
Oh, Carl's not going to like that. No, it's not actually not low ceilings, but low doors, definitely in this property.
Yeah.
This would have been the heart of the home because we've got this fantastically huge
Yes,
inglenook
massive.
you can
Absolutely
actually sit
massive.
in, which is the definition of an inglenook.
Right. Okay.
Slopey floors, but quite high ceilings.
I mean, this room in itself, it's a nice,
It's not a bad
it's a nice
size,
cosy room.
But yeah, for a snug, it would be nice.
Yeah, for a snug.
But for a living
Not for
room,
the main living room, no.
I'm shaking my head in a sort of worried way because I mean, it is really the main living room.
is it?
Really.
Okay.
But let's go and look through the rest.
Okay.
Another low door. Here we have the kitchen.
Oh, it's huge.
You're being very diplomatic. It is
Yes.
Compact.
also diplomatic. Yes, it's a small kitchen compared to the last one. Certainly, it's much smaller. Yeah. So the wind slightly went out of our sails when we got inside the old house.
I think.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Off the kitchen there's a decent-sized dining room and another reception room currently laid out as a study. The rest of the accommodation is set out on a further 2 floors upstairs. On the top floor, the family bathroom serves a double bedroom with chunks of exposed wooden timbers, as well as a single bedroom with a brick chimney breast. Then the middle floor has 2 large double rooms on offer, each with its own ensuite, one of which we've earmarked for them.
So this is the master bedroom. The nice sort of goes through there into a big ensuite with lots of storage, wardrobes.
Right.
Okay.
It has a lot of, you know, the bones of the building have a lot of history in it.
Quite a lot of rooms,
There is
isn't
something nice about being in a house that is 400 years old. If we could make it work and have that as a plus, then that'd be great.
When you've got something this old,
You are limited.
that you are limited to what you can change and alter to make it work for modern living, really.
Sadly, it would seem that the mystery property is a step too far for our buyers, which is a great shame, for it stands in over 2 acres of land, including a fenced paddock, an orchard with a variety of fruit trees, and a beautifully manicured and landscaped garden. More than enough to keep Carolyn busy, but I think it will be to no avail.
It is a beautiful looking property.
It is, yeah.
The location, the grounds, the gardens, the orchard.
Yeah. The outbuildings, everything. It's fantastic.
So how much do you think this lovely property is worth?
$720.
What about you, Carl?
I've been thinking similar, so I come up with a formula I'm going to think of a price, take off 200 and add 25. So I'm going to go for 725 on this one.
Often the guess is a barometer of how much you like the property, because actually this is on the market for 775.
All right.
That's because it's got planning permission, I suppose, for the...
And because it's
for the
period.
outbuilding. Yeah, yeah.
Pay for
And a
period.
good bit of land with it too. So.
Yeah, true.
So have a wander round.
Lovely.
Okay,
Thank
great,
you.
thanks.
With an asking price of £775,000, the mystery property is a 3-storey farmhouse that has a history spanning some 400 years and comes with 3 reception rooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 of which are en suite, and beautiful secluded grounds that extend to over 2 acres. The icing on the cake is the separate stone barn, with planning permission already in place to convert into a 2-bedroom home.
Oh wow, this is an interesting place. It's got great potential.
Yeah.
It's just a shame it's not kind of nearer to the
Close to the
house, because you
house.
could then join it on, couldn't you?
Yeah, this would be a totally separate building to the main house, wouldn't it?
We hadn't really considered a thatch cottage before because we had a preconceived idea that the rooms would be small and the ceilings would be low. I think it's the cottagey thing that is what we're not looking for.
I think the Mystery House has challenged us to think a bit more about exactly what it is that we do want from a property. Anything more than 200 years old is not really that suitable for us and our type of, modern living.
Beautiful walnut tree here, and very old. Apparently this was the centre of the village. And at one point this was the pub. So that's a lot of features and history. Hello.
Hi.
All done.
Yeah.
Very beautiful walnut tree.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really old.
Very old. Now, our time here is done. Time to just get you somewhere warm and dry so you can put your feet up and have a think.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Covering less than 500 square miles, Bedfordshire is one of England's smaller counties, but it still has its fair share of exclusive palatial mansions. And it was here at the grand stately home of Woburn Abbey that the custom of afternoon tea was created by the 7th Duchess of Bedford, Anna Maria, in the mid-19th century. Earlier in the week, I went behind the scenes to meet tea party hostess and baker extraordinaire Jo Christie, who showed me how to prepare the perfect tea plate, starting, of course, with cucumber sandwiches.
Slightly thick, there needs to
We
be
do a
a
little
crunch
sample.
to it.
So,
I'd say a little bit thinner. Yeah, I'd say
when
there.
you say thick, you mean thin. But why cucumber particularly?
They had cucumber sandwiches to show off in the wealthier quarters. It was a very rare ingredient at the time. So crusts off, and then finger sandwiches, so long as they can be eaten within 2 or 3 bites, so they're delicate.
As well as sandwiches, afternoon tea is typically composed of scones with clotted cream and jam, sweet pastries, and the best bit, cake.
And then more over here.
We have the giggle cake, which is not so well known. It's a boiled fruit cake, best served warm with a good cup of tea.
Oh my God, that is
So
fruit-tastic.
it's nice and colourful inside, so you
So
can
it's got
see the
pineapple.
cherries and the pineapple and the dried fruit.
Wow.
Afternoon tea was initially developed as a social event for ladies in genteel society. Traditionally, the upper classes would indulge around 4 o'clock, just before a fashionable promenade. But the middle and working classes would have a more substantial high tea a couple of hours later. Beryl Peters is an expert on afternoon tea etiquette, and she joined me in Woburn Abbey's blue drawing room, where this quintessentially English ritual was born.
Hello, I come bearing
Hello.
sandwiches, giggle cake and Victoria sponge. I need you to guide me through the ceremony of tea.
Anna, the Duchess, used to have the finest toast, as thin as poppy leaves, and just as little tasters to begin with. And then the percolated tea would be brought to the table. It was brewed away from the table, and it was left for 3 minutes to draw, and then decanted into a warm teapot. So in the early days, we would have a bowl instead of a cup, and it would be of bone china. And so the balance had to be taken at 6 o'clock on the thumb, 12 o'clock with the first two fingers, and then the little finger would be the balance.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it does sound extraordinarily complicated.
The milk was poured in first, so that in fact it was a coolant, and it would be given a gentle stir, actually before drinking, from the front to the back like this, and not in the vulgar fashion.
It is an amazing thing, afternoon tea. Who knew?
And so, within a generation, as tea became more affordable and women were freer to socialise outside the home, tea rooms became a popular sight on the nation's high streets, leading to the afternoon tea becoming a widespread cultural phenomenon.
I'm rather regretting not having snaffled a piece of that giggle cake now, but I have duties to perform, namely to find out whether Carolyn and Carl like any of the three houses we've shown them. Let's talk about the houses one by one, because that's always interesting in retrospect. The first house was very beautiful, Elizabethan period manor house. What are your thoughts about that now?
Yeah, it was a stunning house, actually, in a really pretty village. The rooms had nice high ceilings, which is something that we like. But we just felt that it didn't really quite have enough land. We did want a bit more garden.
Also, I think in terms of the room space we wanted, there wasn't enough rooms for us to do what we wanted to do.
Well, we did manage to give you that for the second property, a very nice, large plot, 3.5 acres, on the edge of the village, attached annex. What else would you think about that property now?
Yeah, that was a great property, that barn, actually. Loved the garden, lots of potential to develop and do something with.
Room layouts worked well, more than enough space. The annex we could utilise as part of the general living space before having to use it as an annex.
And what about the price? Because you were both quite surprised when I said the price.
I really couldn't believe that you got so much space for that money and all the garden as well.
You do actually get so much more for your money here in Bedfordshire.
Now, the mystery house sort of combined the two, really, because we had lots of land and also the period aspect. What are your thoughts about the mystery house?
The mystery house, it looked a really nice, picturesque property. Lots of land, nice gardens, a lot of potential with the barn conversion project. But the main house itself, whilst it was beautiful and quaint, it just wasn't right for us.
The kitchen was a little bit on the small side, and being Grade 2 listed, it would be a long, drawn-out process to get planning permission, if you could even get planning permission to extend it and make it work.
Not such a hit, the mystery house.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
But were any of them a hit? What happens next? Would you go and revisit any of them?
Well, I think the barn offers a lot of what we wanted. We would like to go and explore the area a bit more.
And also we need to check out the daily commute to and from work and to school, and we'll take it from there.
Well, I do hope that you find something. I know that we may not have found you the absolute perfect property this week, but maybe we've opened your eyes to Bedfordshire, which would be a nice thing. And I wish you all the best.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks.
What an enormously satisfying week here in Bedfordshire. Satisfying for me on a personal level with the cream tea and Victoria Sponge, but more importantly, of course, satisfying for Carl and Carolyn. We've opened their eyes to a whole new potential pool of homes. And if you've enjoyed exploring these rural retreats, then join us next time for more Escape to the Country.
And if you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.